Yeah, I want to talk about something very interesting and helpful for every gardener to know. And let's call it built in energy. So, built in energy is, I'll give you the simplest example there is. So, these dandelion flowers are separated from the mother plant. So, they have a scenario now where this is all the energy they have from the stem to the flower. That's all they have left because they've been disconnected. So all this energy that's in the stem is now going to switch over to bring this to seed, to bring this flower to seed. So all the milky substances that are inside this stem are going to turn this into seed. That's the only prerogative this plant has left. It is going to turn this into seed or this into seed. That is what I call the built-in information, the built-in energy, the timing, the built-in timing in a plant, the fail-safe mechanisms that are in plants. That's a really good example. So, these tomatoes are not local to this area. And so it's July already. These guys should have been in the ground already. They should have been in the ground, let's say April. So the internal clock or the internal energy of these seeds is off tilter because it's supposed to be in the ground already and it's probably this high already. There are so many examples of this internal energy, this internal programming that plants have, and it is very basic. It goes down to the concept that there's stored information, there's stored energy, there's stored processes all built into this information that is contained within seeds. So how do gardeners use that to their advantage? First of all, the plants are the best indicators themselves. So let's say I do put these tomato seeds in the ground and I'm affecting its built-in internal mechanisms or timing. The plant will try to adjust, the seeds will try to adjust, and they will try to do their best to still follow through the cycle of roots, foliage, flowering, and creating seeds. They will still go through that process even though the timing is off. So they will adjust the internal clock that they have. And they will do their best to make sure that they still go to fruit and to seed. So how do you harness that? First of all, this should have gone in the ground in the right time. That would have helped a lot. The seeds that are germinating, the plants that are germinating, have built-in indication mechanisms for the gardener to visualize. They're doing poorly. They need to be watered every second day. They need more sunlight. They are rattled by the wind. The soil isn't good enough, so you top it off with some better soil. There's all kinds of indications that tell the gardener, you know what, my seedlings aren't doing well and the garden isn't doing well because of such and such. So it's the observation of the gardener that is very important to make that all come to fruition. There is another factor that is really important to me, and that is what I call respect. And that respect is based on the fact that the plants have an objective to go through their motions, go through their timing to create seeds. That's actually their biggest objective, is to be fertile and reproductive. So they will go through this process of offering the flower to pollinators. They will offer this process to be completed by their internal mechanisms. They know exactly what to do. It's all pre-programmed inside these seeds. And we don't pay enough respect to that. We don't pay enough attention to it, that hey, look, this is magnificently designed. This is incredibly productive. And we have to, possibly be more of a bystander than an influencer. And the plants will do everything on their own. They know what to do. It's just that we need to be there as gardeners to make sure that they can complete their process, make sure that they are allowed to unfold. I always look at gardening as layering and unfolding. Layering being the process of giving them the chance to unfold, and the unfolding is the fact that we interrupt as little as possible. Just the necessary amount of observation, fixing, and solving these issues. Now, this internal clock mechanism is very interesting because the humans, us, we have the same internal clock. When nighttime comes, our bodily functions change, we slow down, digestion changes, rest that we need to survive is increased. Plants have the same mechanism. The sun isn't shining on those plants. There's a big change going on. They slow down, they regenerate. It's this regenerative process is very necessary in everything that is alive. You can't go, 24 hours, 365. It has to be a period for everything to relax. So let me give you an example. So you have a garden bed of tomatoes, and they haven't been watered in a while, and they go to sleep thirsty. Might sound ridiculous, but they go to sleep thirsty. So the information process of that tomato is, or the built-in mechanisms are stressed out. So it's going to be harder for that tomato to rest. It's sending out roots as fast as it can to see if it can find any available water, which is not a bad thing. So there's all these internal mechanisms and external mechanisms that are influencing the timing and the information that is inside the plant. It is making it do things. It is making it recover. It is making it create game plans to survive. So if we basically boil it down to a very simple scenario, is the plants want to germinate, they want to root, they want to create leafy matter to complete photosynthesis that can help the plant grow and do its chemical processes. And then it wants to flower, it wants to have the ability to attract pollinators or wind or whatever it may need to pollinate. And then it wants to go to seed, and then it wants to do the whole process again. If we consider that the simple equation that is evolved in gardening, then so be it. That's the equation we have to sort of appreciate and respect. Now the gardener, if he removes himself from his garden enough and says, look, I need to water, I need to make sure the plants have enough sunlight, I need to make sure that these pollinators show up, I need to make sure that this plant is watered at the right times and has enough nutrients. And so that's the gardener's job, is to basically facilitate the process of going from A to B. And B basically is allowing the cycle to reoccur again by collecting seeds and planting them in the spring again, respecting the internal timing of these plants, respecting the internal mechanisms that these plants have. If we do all that, you're going to have a fantastic garden. There's no way around it. It's just basically you're respecting the circle of life. You're respecting the purpose of these plants, what they're supposed to do. And they're very simple. Plants are very simple. They just want to do well, create flowers, reproduce, create seeds, reproduce, and keep this cycle going. And it's all an energy play. It's all energy. Is there enough energy to do that? Is there enough sunlight to do this? Is the wind not interrupting me too much? Is the shade not interrupting the plant too much? So all those things are all up to the gardener to make sure that everything is able to do the timing, the mechanisms, and the cycles. If you allow your garden to do that, you will have absolutely the most beautiful garden you could ever imagine.